You ready for this haircut? Alright, let's get this haircut started. We're going to be doing a mid-fade. So in the beginning, you want to start by debulking the hair with the number 2 guard open, using a flick out motion towards the top. You don't want to go too high, just so you can keep it dark. Consistency is key, so you want to make sure that both sides are at the same height. At this point, I noticed that my camera had low battery, so we're going to be focusing mainly on the right side of this haircut. So my first step, as usual, we're going to set in our guideline with these babyliss trimmers. Honestly, this is also like a mid-drop. All my mid-fades, I usually like to drop them towards the back, just so I can keep it darker, a better transition towards the top. Make sure you're always brushing, that way you don't have to do double work. Sometimes the hair stays behind, so you want to just brush it, that way you don't have to go over it a couple times. Okay, so here for our next step, we're going to be using the Bronze Series 9s. I actually just got these. I will be doing an unboxing on these / review, so that is another video that I'm going to be putting out soon. So I'm not sure which video I'm going to be releasing first, if the haircut or the unboxing of the Series 9 shavers. Just make sure you watch both. Hit the like, subscribe, show some support. So when I'm using the foil shaver, I don't go all the way up into the guideline. I leave a little gap like another guideline, and what I do is I'll tap it instead of flicking into it. I kind of just put it over and tap it just how I'm doing right now, and that will just quickly get rid of that guideline. So I do go over it one more time with my trimmers, stretching out the hair and getting it all the way up to that guideline. So today, instead of using the Andis Masters, I'm going to be using the wahl, just so I can show you the difference. This is the lever open, equaling to the half guard. Try not to make your guidelines too thick. Again, keeping it dark is key. You want to make sure you don't go too short on the sides. That way you get a smooth transition towards the top, since he does have a lot of hair. So I will switch it up here and there. Sometimes I'll start in the middle of the guideline, sometimes I'll start in the bottom, sometimes I'll start at the top. But today I'm going to be doing it from bottom to top. So first thing we're going to do is close our lever and push that guideline up. Next step is going to be opening the lever midway and going about midway of that guideline. And finally opening it all the way and surpassing just a little bit the guideline we already created. Make sure that you're looking at it from different angles, because sometimes looking at it from a different angle will allow you to see small guidelines that you haven't gotten rid of, and the easiest way to do that is just playing with the lever. Okay, so this is a different technique. Usually we start off with the half guard, but right now I'm going to be using the number 1 guard open just to debulk once again and make it easier for those other guidelines to come in. This is technically the 3rd step, so you do want to make this guideline a little thicker than the first one, just so you could fit the transition of going from the 1.5 down to a 1 and then fitting the half guard in there as well, the half to the number 1. It sounds a little bit confusing. It's a little bit more advanced, but it's a faster way to fade. It's a better technique. Not something you want to do on your first few haircuts, but I definitely recommend you learn this technique. So now what I'm doing is I'm closing the lever little by little and going lower than the initial guideline that I created, so we're not going all the way to the top. Alright, now we're using the half guard. After I lined up that line with the number 1, you will be opening your lever all the way and only going about midway of that guideline. That's why we made it a little bit thicker. We basically made 2 guidelines in the beginning. You don't want to go too high, because then you're going to bring that fade, well, too high. So you want to go right above the middle with the little flick out motion and slowly start bringing it lower, closing it a little bit. Right where you see that line, you want to make sure you attack it. Don't be scared, because it may not seem like you're cutting, but you truly are. You just have to keep going over and over. Make sure you're putting in that detail work. So right here, I did go back to the number 1 real quick. I saw some spots I needed to hit up. Everything I'm doing here is basically just detail work, freshening up that fade. I wasn't done with my fade yet, but I was afraid that my camera was gonna die on me, so I just hit up these C cups, and wow, they came out perfect. Honestly, in my opinion, these came out perfect. I wish I could have gotten the full video. This haircut was fire. So since we did start with the number 2 open, I'm using the 1.5 right now open, using flick out motion, almost reaching the top but not, and repeating the same process, open lever to close lever. I was mainly focusing on the right side. I couldn't capture the whole video, so here I'm just doing detail work, going back to where I feel like it's needed. Just all around touching up this fade, taking my time, making sure he leaves this shop crispy. I will be cutting some steps. I'm not trying to always use guards, so just for the top I'm going to be using clipper over comb. Also, I will be using my finishers just to get rid of any dark spots. I was running out of time. I always start in the middle of my linings. I only did half today. I wish I could have gotten everything. I actually did have more time than I thought I did. I kind of rushed this video just a little bit, but it's also nice because you can see half of it done and half of it undone, which is a big difference. Alright, so we are reaching an end to this video. Thank you to everybody who's made it this far. Feel free to drop any comments, hit that like, subscribe, share, everything.